Leon Edwards claims his next title defense will be at UFC 300. Leon said, "I will defend my belt in April at UFC 300 in Vegas again. Then hopefully in the summertime get a fight back home in Birmingham at Villa Park. I'm in talks with the UFC, so hopefully we can get it done." Paul Felder tells Islam Makhachev to stay at lightweight. Felder thinks that fighters wanting to become double champ is getting out of hand. Paul said Leon already saying that he doesn't think Belal Muhammad should get the fight. Why is everyone, why do we all got a crap on? We've established that this is the #1 contender. You're also saying you want to break George St. Pierre's record. Then we got Islam Makhachev out there saying that he should be next for the welterweight belt. Guys, stay in your freaking divisions. Reign over your division. Can we get dominant champions before you all start wanting to fight for other belts? It didn't used to be like this. The guys that did this in the beginning, obviously Conor's an exception. He did it. It was craziness, right? He was a superstar. DC did it because he earned it and it was over 205, right? Amanda Nunes earned it. Now it's like everybody and their mother wants to be a double champ. Sean O'Malley is confident ahead of his rematch against Chito Vera at UFC 299. Sean, however, believes he is still being underestimated.
Sean, it's been a few months since we last saw you. How has life been as the champion of the world?
It's been good, similar to how it was before. I always kind of felt like I was the champ. I always kind of lived like I was the champ, and nothing really has changed. So, just back to work, booking fights, ready to go.
You're preparing for your first title defense against someone that you have been in the octagon with before. That fight took place 3 years ago, though. How much do you think you have grown as a fighter since you and Chito first faced off?
Yeah, I think I've grown a ton. I think, hopefully he has too. It's been 3 years of us, booking fights, staying active. So I think we've both grown a lot. I think that first fight, if it plays out without that, I think I whoop him. And I get to go out there and prove that. I like having a fight booked. I like knowing a date. I like having an opponent. And it just felt really good.
You mentioned just how different this fight is going to be for you against Chito. Can you kind of just explain to me how you think this fight's going to be different?
I think it's going to play out how the first fight was playing out. I'm just going to be too fast for him. I'm just better than him. And like I said, I could go out there and prove that.
Heading into the fight against Aljamain, you really felt like people were kind of doubting you, counting you out. You won the belt that night. What do you think about how people are viewing you as you head into this fight with Chito?
Still, I feel like, I don't know if it's the hair, I don't know if it's the face tattoos, I don't know what it is, but I caught him. It's not I was that good. It's I caught him. So, I think I'm still underestimated, and that's fine with me. But I think there eventually will be a time where they go, oh wow, he might just be that good. So we'll see, and I'm excited to go out there.
As you look towards March and UFC 299, what would it mean for you to defeat Chito and once again continue your reign as bantamweight champion of the world?
It'll be massive. It's everything is kind of playing out the way I want it to, obviously, and I want to be a pay-per-view star, and I get to go out there, defend the belt, get my first big pay-per-view check, and I would love to go out there and just each fight make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Eric Nicksick is adamant that Sean Strickland stay composed and not get emotional in his upcoming fight against Dricus du Plessis. He says that if Sean fights emotional, it will favor Dricus more. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Eric said there's two sides to that coin. Sean has no problem saying what he says about everybody else, so people are going to probably poke and say things about him as well. I think it's just a tough road to, so you can't get too emotional about those situations. They're just words, but at the end of the day, I feel like he was triggered, and there was a few days where it kind of just motivated him. The motivation was already there, believe me, but I wanted him to understand that we need to have the right motivation. It didn't need to be this infuriated guy going in there like I want to kill this guy, because that takes us out of our game. It takes us out of our element and what we're good at. He's been great ever since then. We had a good conversation about that, and I just told him that I was proud of him. I did say, hey, fighting emotional is not who we are, and stylistically I think that favors Dricus more. It opens us up more. So we need to stick with our game plan and stick with what we want to do and don't allow your emotions to take this over. I don't think a lot of people really understand the amount of people that reached out to me after he won against Adesanya. He speaks for the demographic, and so many people I think have this type of upbringing where they had parents that might have been abusive, or they dealt with a broken home and all these things that Sean may have dealt with. He's kind of their voice in a lot of ways, but what they're seeing now is someone becoming successful, and that motivation for them is huge because they know they can do it too. Conor McGregor announces his UFC return against Michael Chandler.
Hold it. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year to you all. I'd like to announce the return date for myself, the notorious Conor McGregor, for the greatest comeback of all time. Will take place in Las Vegas for International Fight Week on June the 29th. come a little closer. And the opponent, Michael Chandler. And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
On X, Ariel Helwani wrote International Fight Week is in fact slated for June 29th in Vegas. First time that International Fight Week will be in June. It's usually that first or second Saturday in July. McGregor wanted to fight at UFC 300. He pushed hard for it. He was ready, I'm told. But after meeting with the brass last week, they settled on June 29th. Brett Okamoto reveals Michael Chandler reacted to Conor's video announcement live on the phone with him. Brett said, just got off the phone with Michael Chandler. He watched Conor's announcement of their fight on June 29th with me on speaker. He laughed as it played, and regarding the 185 stipulation, he said, here we go. Any weight is good with me. On X, Chandler said, I always said I wanted you at your biggest, your baddest, and your best. 185 would look good on me. Brendan Schaub reposted it and said, odds this fight actually happens end at 185? Anatomy of a Fighter replied saying, doubt it. So the MMA community does not seem very thrilled about this announcement. Fans aren't really taking the whole 185-pound thing serious. They also aren't happy that the fight is in June, another 6 months out. Some fans don't even think the announcement's real. To read through the top comments on Instagram, June, so basically 7 months into the year. Conor gotta be trolling the weight. Chandler going broke before that fight. My guy been waiting for ages. Hope nobody is taking the weight serious. It's obviously at 55 or 70. 185? Bro moved up 2 whole weight classes? 170 I can understand, but 185? Bro just doesn't want to put in the work. Opponent, rehab, date immediately. Weight, catch weight. Dude's going to be damn near 36, and everyone is still looking at his 27-year-old performance and thinking he's back. Time get everyone, and with his lifestyle, he ain't going to be an exception. Another half a year for what? Poor Chandler. I'd like to announce I'm fighting absolutely nobody. Chandler could have fought twice and Prob made the same amount this whole time he's waiting. June 29th, another half year. Conor just trolling at this point. Chandler should forget this already and get a new opponent, unless he wants to cry on another canceled appointment in June. He's waffling, let Dana confirm it. So another 5 months shaking my head. That's too long. If it's at 185 or 170, it's going to be awful. Chandler should move on for real. He's 100% trolling. Poor Chandler. And a gif of Dana White saying bullshit. What do you guys think of the announcement? Do you guys think Conor's serious or he's trolling? Post your opinions in the comments. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Colby Covington calling out Ian Gary. The first one says, I'm actually down to see that fight with Ian and Colby. Just imagine the presser. The second one says Bilal is so delusional to think he has more of a shot for GOAT talks than Usman does. And the final one says that's a smart call out for Colby. It's a high reward fight, and it's against someone the MMA community hates more than him. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.